All right, got a big brain one for you. Why is ET short for? Because he's got little legs. Think about that one. So we've got a next one upcoming here. Last lesson we did negative indices. Now we're dealing with fractional indices. And same thing as always, business as usual. Okay, that means the same differential rule applies. Okay, and as per usual, we're also going to do a quick little recap of a fractional indice. It means you'll have a base, you'll have a fractional indice. Just remember that's always going to be your base. And the way I remember this is a power always goes on top and a root always goes at the bottom. Okay, so in other words, rewriting this will become a to the power of m, and we're taking the nth root. Okay, so hopefully we'll kind of see that play out here. Let's take a go here. Let's do the first one. Okay, f dash x, same rules apply. It's just the numbers are going to look slightly more different. So first things first is the power comes down to the front, and then you take away 1 from your power. So just doing this, 2/3 take away 1/3 becomes negative 1/3. And I'm happy to leave that as my answer, just like that. Okay, same thing here. I've got a fractional indice, but it's business as usual. Power comes down to the front. X kind of stays the same, and then I'm going to take away 1 from the power. So -5 on 2, take away 1, becomes -7 on 2. Now, if you're struggling to pick that up, good luck. It's -5 on 2, take away 1. Okay, so if you put that in the calculator, it becomes -7 on 2. If you want to prove it, maybe you shouldn't be in this class. Sorry, not sorry. That's what's happening. So look, maybe you should be, but are we happy with that's -5 on 2, take away 1? I feel bad. Can you see that I'm explaining it now because I feel bad? So -5 on 2, take away 1 is the same thing as -5 on 2, take away 2 on 2. That gives you -7 on 2. Okay. Now, more likely what you'll see is you'll see something like this. Okay, now I want you to take a note. It's 9 times the square root of x, but the square root of x, technically there's a number in here, and technically that's 2, and technically that's the power of 1. Okay, so what I recognize this is f of x equals 2, 9 times x to the power of 1 on 2. Okay, because 1 is the power, 2 is the root. So if I do f dash x, now it's business as usual. Half comes down the front, so that becomes 9 on 2. And then you take away 1 from the power. Half take away 1 is -1/2. Okay, that's it. And then again, because I want to write it in the form that my answer has, I'll write it as 9 on 2 over root x. Okay, because the negative moves the x to the bottom of the fraction because it takes the reciprocal, and x to the power of 1/2 is a square root. That's what I end up with. And let's do another one. Now this one's an interesting one because technically it's 2 things times together. Okay, it's kind of like x to the power of 4 times the square root of x. Whenever I see any square roots, write it as an indice. Okay, so it becomes x to the 4 times x to the 1/2, and hopefully you remember this is going to be a index law. That means I add the powers together, so it'll be 4.5, which is the same thing as 9 on 2. Now, just take note, I always like to use improper fractions. I don't like mixed numerals when we're differentiating. It makes life a lot more difficult. Okay, so I'll write a note here, use improper. Okay, don't worry about mixed. Don't use mixed numerals. Okay, so from here, that's still our f of x. We haven't differentiated yet, but now we've rewritten it in a form that makes it nice and easy for us. So power comes down the front. I take away 1, which is the same thing as 2 on 2, which leaves me with 7 on 2. Okay, and that there should be your answer. Do I have one more? I do have one more. Now, if I've got a fraction, chances are I'm going to have to separate it into different terms. So I'm going to have x over root x, take away 3 on root x. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite these in a way that's a little bit nicer. I'm going to write this as x times by x to the negative half minus 3 times x to the negative half. Okay. And just again, using your index laws, I'm going to add 1 to it. So this just becomes x to the positive half, because that's 1 take away a half. And I'm going to take away 3x to the minus half. Have not differentiated, have just put it into a form that's a little bit nicer. Now I can differentiate, half comes down to the front, take away 1 from a half gives you negative half. And then here the negative half comes down to the front, so it actually becomes plus 3 on 2. And then if I go minus half, take away 1, that gives me minus 3 on 2. And that there should be your solution. Okay, and again, writing it in a form that's a little bit nicer. I'm going to write this as 1 over 2, and then that x to the minus half means I have a square root of x, but on the bottom of my fraction, and this is going to be plus 3 on 2. And because that x is to the negative 3 on 2, I'll have x to the power of 3, and it's going to be the square root of it. And the negative puts it on the denominator as well. Okay, just a quick reminder, do not need to write a 2 when that's there. Hopefully that helps, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See you later, and bye-bye.